For you and your patients, flashover is a point of no return. Fire is very deceiving. It grows faster and differently than you think. A fire usually starts small. A careless cigarette, an electrical overload, 1,000 other ways. A small fire can be easily put out. However, as this test record shows, fire can grow quickly to a point where it can be put out only by trained firefighters or built-in firefighting equipment like automatic sprinklers. However, you do have a powerful fire control weapon at your command, the hospital door. The hospital-type door can, if closed, stop or delay a fire from spreading, holding back or even preventing flashover. It can provide time for the fire department to arrive and for you to safely evacuate patients from the area. Closing the door on the fire is important even if your hospital or nursing home has automatic sprinklers, because a great deal of smoke will be produced while the sprinklers are putting the fire out. Once a fire gets a start, it can grow, perhaps slowly at first, become larger and hotter until suddenly it changes its character and erupts out of control. How does this change take place? All fires will grow if they have sufficient fuel, and in doing so will generate clouds of deadly smoke and lots of heat. The smoke and heat will concentrate near the ceiling. Even when the fire is only in one portion of the room, hot smoke and gases are being given off, and the ceiling is being heated to an extremely high temperature. The real danger is at the top. The flashover trigger is at the ceiling. During this time, everything in the room becomes hotter. Soon, all combustibles are ready to ignite. The fire can then suddenly spread from a single surface like the bed to envelop the entire room in flames, often pushing flame and smoke into the corridor. This is called flashover. Flashover is fire out of control. Less than half a minute of a laboratory test demonstrates the suddenness and force of flashover. This is why nurses and nurses' aides and everyone else on the staff must be more aware of what to do in case of fire and how little time they have to do it. To show the importance of time and flashover, smoke, and doors, we have created a typical fire story. The story is based on real fire cases and real fire facts. Staff and patients of an actual nursing home and a professional artist have been used to dramatize the actions of the people and the facts of the fire. Our case study begins when a lighted cigarette drops from a patient's hand as she dozes off to sleep. After a period of smoldering, a small flame appears. With the appearance of flame, the flashover clock is started. The flame reaches the bedding and will soon be too large to be put out by anyone inexperienced in fire control. 1 minute and 30 seconds after the first sign of flame, a nurse's aide walking by the room sees the fire burning at the side of the bed and the sleeping patient. She calls out for help from the nursing station. The nurse on duty starts toward the room. On her way, she pulls the fire alarm. The bell sounds in the building. The fire department is called. At 2 minutes, the nurse joins the aide and they begin to evacuate both of the patients from the room. 3 minutes after the flaming started, the nurse and her aide take the patients in the room to the fire exits. The door to the fiery room is left open. Staff members from other areas bring fire extinguishers to fight the fire. It is too late. The fire is much too large to be put out by a fire extinguisher. The smoke at the ceiling is black, and is drifting into other patients' rooms. Flames are licking from the bed into the black smoke. Everything in the room is being preheated. Soon the room begins to flash over. Flame roars over the heads of the would-be firefighters, pushing them back from the room. Flames spread across the face of the open door so they can't close it. With flashover fully triggered, flames belch into the corridor and smoke fills the hall from smoke door to smoke door. The nurses, their aides, the patients in the room, and the would-be firefighters all escape. The fire department arrives quickly. The firefighters, equipped with breathing apparatus, use hose streams and easily put out the fire in short order. However, helpless patients down the hall were dying unnoticed during the time the fire was being attacked. Smoke is the killer. Patients in the nursing home could not tolerate the smoke as well as the people caring for them. Although the patients in the fiery room had been evacuated in time, other patients died in their beds from smoke inhalation. What went wrong? First, the nurse and her aide did not recognize the suddenly changing stages of fire growth. They didn't know about flashover. Second, they didn't realize how fast smoke can move from a room down a hallway into other rooms. Third, they didn't consider the weakened condition of their patients, especially those with respiratory problems. And last, they weren't aware of the strategic importance of closing the door to the room on fire. Now let's go back and pick up the story at the point where the nurse pulls the fire alarm and see what could have been done to contain the fire, stop the spread of smoke, and save lives. Immediately upon arriving at the room, the nurse and her aide should have brought the patients out of the room, closed the door, and placed them in a safe, nearby location. This could have saved lives. After the door to the room on fire was closed, the door to every other occupied room should have been closed. This is to protect the other patients until they can be evacuated. Only then should patients be moved to a more distant location. Remember, if you face fire, get closed doors between the fire and your patients, and call for help. If you box in the smoke and flame by closing doors, you will have made time your safety margin. If the door is open, smoke and fire can rapidly spread into the hall, and there will not be time to save everyone. You are in charge. You can make the time you need to give your patients safety in fire, or you can lose it to the fire. In a nursing home or hospital, many people are depending on you to make the right decisions in an emergency. Remembering what to do in case of fire can mean the difference between life and death. Please remember that flashover is a point of no return for the fire, for you, and for your patients.